Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another whatever the fuck these videos are gonna get called at this point. Um, Sorry if my mouth moves a lot. I have a cough drop right now. Been feeling a little sick lately. But anyways, there is a topic I would like to talk about today, and that topic is of course about Maximus the Cyborg. Now, before anything about him, I'm gonna get into a couple of details about why I'm talking about him. Okay. Now, there is so much people who have gotten involved with this situation ever since it got out there. And honestly, I thought it would have stopped ever since Milo Murphy made his videos and ever since I did my interview. Um, and as far as I'm concerned, I think Milo Murphy's the only one who really did a good job at taking care of the situation. As for others, I uh, I don't really know what to call it at this point. Um, some people even brought a word up to my attention that I literally thought was related to Max, but it somewhat is and it somewhat isn't. So there is this word called lol cow, and what it means is that you laugh at someone and you keep milking them for the laughs, for the lols. So I found out that was a thing. And I'm gonna give you guys context about my current relation with Max. Max is complicated. I don't want to say he's like a good friend of mine. I don't want to say he's a best friend, but he's close, I guess, if that makes any sense. I don't condone any of the actions that he has done thus in the past, but he has always been coming to me for support, to helping him. And for me, that's a lot of responsibility because it means I have one of two choices: to either throw someone who has been around me for a while in jail, or to help someone who doesn't really want help, you know? Either way, it's not really good. But I'm mainly bringing this video up because I know one of my friends, one of my VRC family members in particular, I won't say any names, okay? But you know who you are. He brings up Max a lot, almost daily, if not daily. And there's a few things I want to touch on that subject. Now, first thing that gets brought up is the elements of insanity and how that relates to Maximus the Cyborg. Maximus the Cyborg is not at all in the story of Elements of Insanity. However, um, I don't think it needs to be complained about. A good example is I could set my profile picture to Fluttershy from Hasbro, and Hasbro's not going to come after me. I mean, if it was a Mario profile picture, maybe Nintendo's going to come after me, but who fucking knows, you know? But as far as I know, the Inverted Shadow doesn't really care much about how people use his stuff. The Elements of Insanity, for instance, if you want to set your profile picture as the Elements of Insanity, then you can. A good example is said person, I still won't throw any names out there, is married to one of these characters. Again, I won't say any names out there because I don't want him to feel like I'm calling him out or anything. Um, and in a way that's kind of relatable, okay? Like, you have one person who believes these characters are alive, which they are through the voice actors, but the voice actors, like me, for instance, kind of get a little bit uncomfortable that we have to, you know, deal with this situation when we don't really care about it. Anyone can use the Elements of Insanity. Um, but anyways, that wasn't my main issue. My main issue was that I kept getting spam text about all that. Maybe not spam text, but I heard more about victims, and there's a reason why I use that in quotations. As far as I'm actually like, as far as my research goes, the last time Max technically did anything was back in December when we caught him again with said same victim. Okay, and I learned that the only reason why he was talking with her was because at this point he was just like, I'm giving up. But still, we caught him. We didn't let him off the hook. We made him own up to his actions, and there wasn't really much we could do about the YouTube end. Like, literally on YouTube, everybody already fucking knew, so it wasn't really gonna do anything. So we just told him, hey, you need to separate yourself from these people and this people and me, of course. It is currently March. I can't say specifically what the date is. I think it's the 27th, if I'm correct. It's Thursday, 2026. But oh no, actually it's Friday. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the 28th. Regardless, anyway, it is currently late March, and I haven't heard of Max technically doing anything since December. Now I can finally get into the quotations thing, why I use quotations on that, the victims thing. The new victims aren't technically victims, I guess. They're victims of Max's weirdness. As far as I know, they haven't got sent in any pictures, but they had dealt with a few weird conversations. And although I have owned up for Max many times, I told Max he needs to own up for his actions, I tell victims the same shit. Okay? There's two different types of victims. There's the ones who are completely oblivious to everything that is going on around them. They don't even see the weirdness, which is why they wouldn't call it out. And why I would say they're not really victims, because the victims are the ones who don't even know that they're victims, okay? And the other victims are the people who just straight up get that weirdness from him extremely quick, call out that weirdness, and then talk with said person, my family member, and then I have to deal with it like it was a situation. The reality, I'm going to tell this again. I think this is probably the third Max video I have to tell this to everybody. If Max is contacting you, you are a minor, and you know this person is a pred, but even if you don't know this guy is a pred, and this person is talking to you weirdly, and this could just be about anyone, really, not even just about Max, really about anyone. If anybody is talking to you weird, don't talk with them, block them, report them, and be done with it, okay? That's how most situations should be dealt with. I get that, again, said person really wants the authorities involved. We've already got two types of authorities involved already. We did get the police involved. We did get the FBI involved. We don't need to get the police involved again, really, because they already did everything they could, okay? So that's kind of another reason why I'm really frustrated about it. I don't like milking the situation, so going back to what I was saying at the beginning of this video, I don't like milking things. I don't like keep talking about things. I don't want to keep chasing after one fucking person for my amusement, which I know a few of these people kind of are. They're just chasing for amusement. And I've talked to a few friends the other days, and there's worser or more worse people than Max as of right now. Max is still not a good person, of course, but there's people like Sunbeam, Dark Pony, or whatever the fuck his shitty fucking username is now, because he has to change it every fucking 2 months or something, it seems. But anyways, that's a good example. You got a pred who's been running around since, I want to say 2013, but technically he got caught in 2015. That's when the first report started coming in. But still, it's 2026. That means he's been at it for 11 years, if that's the case. And nobody has really done much about it. There's been a few people who made videos about Sunbeam, like I want to say proximity chat, and probably a few more, but I could be missing that. But again, there are more important people to be focusing on than Maximus the Cyborg. But there's also my words, okay? Now, all the people who reach out to me about Max, I tell them the same thing. I'm taking care of the situation is usually the first thing I tell them. I'll take care of the situation, or I'll handle it, or I'm currently taking care of that. The part that gets me frustrated, and again, I don't want to call out my VRC sibling for this, and I don't want to say I'm frustrated with this. This is just me coming out there. This is just me letting it out there. I can't do this in front of you, obviously, so I'd rather just do it in video to give everybody the idea. But anyways, like, for instance, when I call Max out, I'm handling the situation, he's not handling the situation, and if I'm handling the situation and then I suddenly get more reports about Max this, Max that, Max this, and it's not really information that's useful or like anything that can do anything about anything, it gets me frustrated because, well, for one, it feels like a spit in my face. Oh, you're doing something? Well, you're not doing something quick enough, so let me just do everything in my power to gain something, you know? That's what it feels like. I was already doing something. I was already doing good enough. How do I know I was doing something? Well, here you go. Here's the proof. Max usually can't even last 2 weeks. 2 weeks without doing something stupid. And again, as I said in the beginning of this video, it is March, almost April in a few days. Probably April tomorrow, honestly. And he hasn't been caught since the beginning of December. I want to say like December 13th or 14th, right? Right around that time. So that means whatever I'm doing with Max, it's probably working, okay? Now, again, there are still people, victims, coming out saying that they have dealt with Max, but again, these people haven't said they got sent anything weird, like nudes or anything. They didn't get sent anything incriminating. The only thing that could be considered incriminating is the fact that when he talks with these people, he tries not to understand that they're minors. And maybe it's because of the fact that he himself also treats everything like he's a fucking minor, which is why this pred shit gets a little bit complicated, because I don't think that it's fully intentional. I think he definitely wants a girlfriend, but I don't think he realizes that he is 20, I want to say 23 now, okay? I don't think he fully realizes that. Now, is that an excuse for that? No. I tell him all the time, you need to grow the fuck up. You're older than me. And Jesus Christ, I'm figuring out my own life already. I'm currently packing. You guys might see a box over there. I'm currently packing as we speak. Okay? So, you know, I tell him all the time, if he really wants to do that, act his fucking age and chase people his age. And, for the most part, it seems like he's just done with relationships. At least that's what it feels like. He's also claiming he might be gay. So I don't really know. I won't go too much into Max's, like, relationship life, sex life, because that's not me. Okay, that's Max. If Max wants to talk about it on his own video, he can. But this is just me saying, guys, I am done with the Max situation. I'm done handling it. I've been handling it. I'm still handling it, but I'm not going to handle it the way people have been wanting me to. I'm going to allow people such as Milo Murphy to keep making their videos because they do a fantastic job of bringing it to people's attention, way better than all these other videos I've seen, and people need to recognize that it's just that. It is to bring awareness to the situation. Now, I had, again, gotten into contact with authorities twice, police and FBI. I've even admitted that to Max, and Max has admitted that to his mom, and we've had some issues, but now I'm just going to straight up say it. I did contact the FBI. The FBI did show up to Max's house, and they did do their little chit-chat things, and yeah, they didn't find anything. Unfortunately, they didn't find anything. Now, what am I supposed to do at that point? Well, at that point, I'm supposed to collect better evidence. And unfortunately, there hasn't been anything since then that could be considered incriminating. So, yeah, I'm pretty much done with it. I'm gonna keep dealing with the sunbeam thing, like I said I would, but I've been putting it to the side because, again, I'm moving, and I have to deal with my own shit. I'd rather focus on my own life than some preds, okay? But I'm done milking the thing, if you could call it milking. I was already done maybe 2 videos after the situation, but I had to keep making videos no matter what about it anyway. But this is the last time I make a video about Maximus the Cyborg. I'm done. I am done with the situation. I'm done trying to take Max down. And I feel like everyone involved, around me at least, should just drop it and let me handle it. Okay? Otherwise, it's going to turn into a big shit show. And I'd rather that the professionals get it done. I'm not much of a professional. I wouldn't say much of my VRC family members are professional when it comes to that. Especially how they handle it. It's very unprofessional. The documents are professional, don't get me wrong. There are professional shit in that, but the way it gets presented and the way it gets thrown at people is not professional. And I'd rather the situation got held with me. And people, again, such as Milo Murphy, can finish talking about it. And that's if Milo Murphy even continues to, because, like, I think he made another video that semi had Max in it, and people were expecting him to make another topic about Max, but it was just almost like a flashback thing with a mix of, oh, I talked with him again. So it was more of like an update thing. So again, I'm done talking about the situation. If Milo Murphy does his updates on Max, then people can follow Milo Murphy and get those updates. But even then, I doubt Milo Murphy is going to keep doing the Max stuff as well. Because eventually it just becomes repetitive content, and people can see it as milking. Again, the beginning of this video's topic. I'm done laughing about things. I'm done making jokes about things, because in reality, it's not a funny situation. He is, he's trying to get better, obviously, and I know he's going to get mad. Max is going to get mad when I say this, but he, at the end of the day, did do some things that would be considered pedophilic, and now he has to own up to that. And the way he has to own up to that is dealing with people calling him pred as a joke. But if people keep milking that joke, using it for content and shit, using it for way too much of a good laugh, and that's the only thing you could really talk about, then it becomes too much. But that's pretty much the end of today's topic. I just wanted to throw this out there, and matter of fact, I wanted to throw this out here a couple of weeks ago, but I wasn't ready until after I learned what the word lolcow was, and now we are fully able to talk about that. So here's the conclusion part, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done with Max. I'm still going to talk with him, but I'm done with the whole situation. I'm not going to involve him in any of my channel stuff unless it's outside of the pred shit, and only for entertainment purposes only. Obviously, I wouldn't use him for the butt of the joke, but I wouldn't keep him around in my channel because of those things. And I want people to understand that. I still don't condone that behavior. I will never condone that behavior. And I don't think anyone should really ever condone that behavior, honestly. I feel like if anyone condones that, they should go rest in fucking hell. But the main thing is people just need to stay on their own path. Okay? I get that people have their own situations, and sometimes they want to figure out situations for other people, and I'm just going to tell everybody, please just leave the situation in my hands. I will let people know if the situation is completely out of control, if it's not in my hands anymore, but this is the last time I'll really be talking about Maximus the Cyborg, and yeah, that's pretty much about it, guys. I don't really think there's much else to talk about, because again, he hasn't really done anything. It's just other people bringing it to my attention over and over and over about shit that isn't really discussable, like, again, if a minor is being contacted by someone weird and that person is being weird, maybe said minor should block them. I'm not going to be on the pred side, but I'm not going to be on the victim side either. I was a victim, and you know what I should have done? I should have blocked him, okay? But I didn't. And now, here I am today, having to still deal with this situation. I am a perfect example of why you should block these people. Okay? But that's pretty much about it. See you guys in the next video.